To celebrate the premiere of Twisted Metal Season 2 on Paramount+, PlayStation have added the Twisted Metal 3 and 4 games to the PS Plus Classics collection to join Twisted Metal 1 and 2, which were dropped a few months ago. And of course, both have PS4 and PS5 versions, and they have the rewind feature, and most importantly, they have trophies and platinums. So here are all the tips and tricks that you will need to know if you want to earn all 4 of the Twisted Metal platinums while you binge Season 2. So let's go. An ultra-violent, magic-infused world where cars are weapons and you're only as good as your engine and your ammo. Win the Twisted Metal tournament and the all-powerful narrator Calypso will make your wish come true. But be careful what you wish for, and be very, very clear with your meaning. Pretty much the franchise's exclusive premise without too much embellishment, so it doesn't get ruined with convoluted, over-thought-out narratives that would just end up distracting from what is essentially a destruction derby and feels like an episode of Creepshow. Set in a world that mixes the rustic barren lands of Mad Max with the 90s lust for the obscene and gratuitous, wrapped in a macabre wrapper that'd make Elvira herself smile. Get ready to platinum Twisted Metal. Co-creator of this grotesquely gorgeous 90s video game Carnage is none other than David Jaffe, creator of my beloved Kratos. Yes, he is Kratos' daddy. Inspired by a quick play with very primitive VR from PlayStation, Jaffe says he doesn't remember which of the 3 creators said it, but one stated, "Wouldn't it be great to have Mad Max weapons and just blow all these effing cars away?" And then they just pitched it to Sony as Doom with cars, which is just genius, utterly brilliant. I'm just assuming that the PlayStation execs just went, "Here, have all of our money," and just threw money at it, because gold, clearly gold. Taking a name change from battle cars to the way cooler sounding Twisted Metal, the game was released in November '96 to a captivated audience and terrified parents. Important to note that all the games have password entry for level select, and each list can be found very easily online, but I'm sure that our resident Rupert Giles here at the Plat Deck will have added the best linky-loos for you heroes, and that's worth subscribing for, right? Turtlebat here in particular would be mega grateful. So let's put a smile on his face, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Stay up to date with all of our shenanigans. Starting with the seminal entry to the now infamous series, sees us take on a primitive classic from the PS1 era that encapsulates everything great about the 1990s. The first game, you have a short, simple but difficult story mode tournament to complete and win, ending with an epic rooftop battle against the mighty Minion. You have one full playthrough of the 7 levels and then a mini grind of skipping to the end arena and beating the boss with each playable vehicle, and rounding off with some cheat code level selecting to do any cleanup. Pick your car, I'd recommend Sweet Tooth or Darkside if you're new or rusty, as they deal massive damage and can take even more. Pure tank-like power in an ice cream van or a truck, which will help as the final boss Minion is, an actual tank. Basic tips for combat and survival is to locate weapon and health spawns in each level quickly by avoiding combat and simply surveying the area. Use turbo to get away from enemies, but make sure to always have a little left in the tank, as it may mean the difference between a rewind and a trophy. You can use the rewind feature at any time by hitting the options button, but be warned, if you save your game and reload it, where you saved is as far as you can go back to, so save wisely. Using the shoot and run strategy is your best bet if you're not confident, but by the time you pop your last trophy, you'll be a battle-hardened veteran, a fearsome warrior and skilled driver. The ultimate mailman. You will notice 6 miscellaneous first run missable trophies, and these are found 1 per level. First level, the arena, simply destroy the Calypso crates for the Can't Hide From Me Silvo. These are in plain sight, you cannot miss them. Second level, Warehouse District, blow any civilian car to bits like a pinata to get the goodies inside, and you'll earn the "you shouldn't have parked there" Silvo. Freeway 3, the third level, has a Silvo named "You Thought a Barrier Would Stop Me" Silvo for smashing through some roadworks, causing more delays to traffic than a Greta Greenberg get-together. Level 4 Silvo comes for driving through a secret alley that makes the game feel even more GTA than it already did, but it's worth it for the treats within. The River Park Rumble is a tricky level, so this alley can be pretty helpful. The Strategic Break Silvo actually coming to your rescue. Back to the suburbs like a divorcee forced to move back in with mum and dad. Level 4 is Assault on Suburbia, and its Silvo Can I Beat the Van pops up when you obliterate one of these station wagon atrocities. Finally, the final level, which comes in 2 parts. Part 1 where you have your usual death match with the other Doom-inspired vehicles, and Part 2 where you run and hide and take pop shots at the mega intimidating Minion. What will help with that is shooting the hell out of this massive pyramid and then nosediving right into it. and that'll earn you the Pyramid Secret Silvo, and give you a massively cool weapon. Pyramids being weirdly a recurring thing in the Twisted Metal games, by the way, and something I'm really hoping they bring into the show, because it's so obtuse and interesting, but why wouldn't they? What were your thoughts on Season 1 of Twisted Metal? I was expecting it to be awful, but I gotta admit, Crew and I loved every single episode. Utterly bonkers show, and Anthony Mackie and Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine are utterly brilliant. Do you agree, disagree? Give me a yay or nay in the comments, and do us a massive solid. Drop us a like on the video like the hero that you are, as it means so much to us. We'd massively appreciate it. Thank you. With Minion dealt with in the final story trophy popping, thank you for the memories. It's either back to clean up for these, or it's time for the grind. The 11-car rampage you have to go on, and the Groundhog Day of Hellscape torture for the mighty Minion, who by the time you pop the final trophy to be crowned the true Twisted Champion, will be a gibbering wreck, crying in the corner, begging for Daddy to come save him. So just make sure to do everything on the same save, and make multiple copies within that save system, because you can have 20 slots to save games. Twisted Metal 1 is very much a game from 1996 and is actually still pretty tough riding, even with that rewind feature. Not as rough as the final boss in the second game coming up next, but it's not easy. A PSMP guide writer, Phoenix on Speed, which is a great name by the way, gives it a 4 out of 10, and I gotta agree, even with the rewind, this game will make you work somewhat to become the Platinum Twisted Champion. But you can do it in 4 or 5 hours and is a lot of fun. Genuinely a hugely nostalgic and enjoyable platinum that encapsulates everything wonderful about the 1990s. Even if it is arguably the joint toughest of the 4, the toughest, however, is next. Twisted Metal 2. World Tour. Yes, the second game, World Tour, is a pretty brutal ride compared to the other 3. Yes, one has a difficulty that can prove frustrating after rewinding the same 30 seconds of failure for the 40th consecutive time, but World Tour has a final boss battle that kept me up shaking like a leaf as a kid, and made me leave skeevy skid marks in my tighty whities as a grown-up last week. World Tour introduces several of the franchise's key characters, such as Axel, the most badass and probably stupid vehicle in the entire series. PSMP guide writer Minion Crushers gives World Tour a 3 out of 10 difficulty with a 4 out of 10 completion, but I argue it's a solid 4 out of 10, even with the rewind feature. The 4-hour estimate is generous and yes, could be done, but this would be without slipping up. Expect to give this platinum up to 6 hours of your time. Now the same trophy setup as we had before, we start with a character you like and play through the story, knocking out the 3 level-specific trophies and miscellaneous stuff on your way. World Tour has a back-end grind. It's still super short and super fun, but you have to go and complete the final level 11 times, via password level select, of course. Same mechanics, same tactics, use your turbo to get away when in trouble, make sure to hunt down health pack locations, and make sure that if you engage with multiple enemies, you are close to one that has already spawned. Especially in the final level against Big Bad Darktooth, because if he corners you, you're in trouble. Who the hell is Darktooth, you ask? Well, he's Sweet Tooth's vengeful father, Charlie Kane, who blames you for the passing of his son. Sweet Tooth. Such a sweet boy. Rest in peace. But Darktooth is not your run-of-the-mill big bad. He is so vengeful that even after you defeat him, he claws his way back from the depths of hell for one more round of whack-a-mole. And you, my friend, are the mole. Fire is your friend in both stages of this awesome but mega difficult boss fight, and shoot and split is still your best tactic. First run, I'd suggest using a vehicle with heavy armor and a powerful special. 2 of the 3 level specific trophies are found in the second level. Paris, you can drive on water for the water slick. Silvo, on your way to the secret museum that rewards you a silvo and some wisdom and tells you enjoy the fine arts. Use the teleport en route. We'll add the hope these don't make me sick bronzer to the mix to make your Parisian battle end with bronze, silver, and victory. The third and final level specific trophy is in level 4 Amazonia, which sounds like Jeff Bezos just went and bought himself another island, doesn't it? But anyway, here you need to singe your tyres by driving on lava for the Firewalker Silvo, which will probably happen by being shot at by one of the other vehicles. The story will take you to Moscow, the Amazon, the Big Apple, Antarctica, Holland, and finally Hong Kong. These 8 levels are a tad tougher than the first game, so remember to save a little emergency turbo for when you're clinging to life on 1 HP hype and surrounded by enemies. Or you've been cornered in a dead end by Darktooth because you're on 1 HP hype hunting down a health picker, who you now have to defeat with every vehicle and be rewarded not only with a silvo for each, but a neat story about the driver and their wish to Calypso. And these are utterly brilliant, utterly dark and twisted. If you like the madness of the show, then you'll love these 30 to 60 50 seconds. Mini cutscenes, these are what trophy hunting and completionism is all about. It's the rewards in game for your efforts. Use passwords to jump to Hong Kong and beat Darktooth, then Darktooth again. Use the subway to hide, find useful pickups and switch locations quickly. But don't dawdle in there. Darktooth has a ton of annoying weapons to unload on you, even inside the tight spaces that he himself cannot reach.
A little bit spicy.
The random trophies will almost certainly have popped naturally by this point, but if for whatever reason they didn't, then you need to go collect 5 weapons in a level for the 1 more for the collection Goldie, defeat an enemy with the remote bomb, which is fun, hilarious, and almost certain to end up with you unaliving yourself in the process at least once or twice, and will earn you the be careful with that Goldie as reward. Finally, defeat an enemy with a machine gun, nice and straightforward, use collision damage to end an enemy, say, "That's why they call me the Rock," and then check what I can do by ending an enemy with your special. Yeah, that's it. Nice and simple. I mean, the game's tricky as hell, but the trophies are nice and simplistic, right? And of course, with that rewind feature and the password level select, I think that most people can earn this platinum. We're 10 hours in, we have 2 plats. Let's go for the second 2. Good luck. Twisted Metal 3. So here is where it gets interesting. Single track get bought up by GT Interactive, and as the Twisted Metal franchise is owned by Sony, they could no longer be involved with it. So 989 Studios, formerly Sony Interactive Studios America, took the reins. Now I never even knew that the third, let alone 4th game existed until the first 2 games popped up on PS Plus Premium a few months ago. And there is good reason for this. Neither got a release in Europe. Yeah, I don't get it either. What madness. Apparently censorship issues and strategic sales were the reason, but that sounds like something you tell a girl you don't want to see anymore because you secretly snogged her best mate and want to dump her before it comes out in public. So this was the very first time I got the pleasure of playing either game, and yeah, some stuff that 989 shoved in shows how little they understood the world, technology and audience of the first 2 games. Still, they're okay because 989 Studios were really good at the mechanics and level design. They're not a patch on the first 2 for concept, style or execution, but they're a hell of a lot of fun, and they're much easier too. We got the same mechanics, use the directional buttons to steer, the right analog to choose speed or reverse, same tactics apply, scale the level pickups, use the hit and split technique, and always keep a smidge of turbo spare for escaping those super tight squeezes. 3 trophy lists is a lot easier, but the maps are bigger and have more to discover. Another 8 levels of carnage and mayhem await you. The 3rd and 4th games are buggy to high hell, especially when it comes to the trophies, so don't panic if some don't pop when they should. Simply delete your save and use passwords to clean up any that you've missed. Cheats void all trophies apart from the level select, luckily, so don't be tempted by that infinite ammo or eternal health cheat. You already have rewind, so make the most of it. My advice is don't use CPU allies assist, as this locks you out of the cutscene story ending and the glutton for tricky wishes Goldie of Twisted Metal 3. Secret areas and levels reward the following trophies: Hangar 18, portable spaceship. Shoot the 4 pads around the outside of the arena, use the UFO teleport to get up top, nip across the bridge, turn and shoot the humongous windows out, and then hop down, back up the teleport and grab a mini UFO for this Goldie. A MUFO. In Tokyo, make sure you have a full tank of turbo and follow the bridge and jump to the neighbouring roof. Line up and turbo off the ramp onto the smaller roof, reposition yourself and line up to the mini radar and turbo off that ramp to get it, pinging the satellite. While in Japan, make sure to blow this grate off here and throw yourself headfirst into the fan of another Goldie. Look before you leap. For the Eye of the Ancients Goldie in Egypt, you need to discover the Eye Secret. This one is super simple. Just shoot the pillar blocking the entrance, down and teleport to the roof and collect your mini pyramid super bomb and the trophy. In London, it's time to find a secret underground and grab some cool weapons. This one is easy to find and easy to miss. As my directions are worse than an Arsenal fan's opinions on football, I'll just show you and let you figure it out for yourself. Final level specific trophy is completely unavoidable, as you have to do it to stop enemies respawning after you defeat them in the final level. There are 5 control panels on the blimp, 2 are either side of the teleport on the lower level, a 3rd in the adjacent room to the left of the ramp as you drive into it. The 4th is through a series of destroyable walls that, when gone, leave a loop outside of the main level entirely, with a secret area complete with teleport, weapons, health pickup, and yep, you guessed it, a control panel. Finally, head back to the main area, hop upstairs using the teleport and find the final control panel now accessible and shootable right in front of you. This rewards you with the control failure Goldie and the ability to actually end the level. Now, level select was hella buggy on my cleanup and I had to delete my save and play the game through all the way 5 times to pop the glutton for Tricky Wishes Goldie. I hope you don't have this same problem, but if you do, I just recommend deleting your save, making sure you're not using a CPU ally, and do not use any cheats other than the level select. A 3 out of 10 and a 5-hour platinum, Twisted Metal 3 is okay, but not the same level of chaotic mayhem or fun as its predecessors. Twisted Metal 4. The 4th game is where it gets really stupid. Sweet Tooth has somehow come back from the afterlife to dethrone Calypso and run the Twisted Metal tournament himself. While Calypso channeled a Jafar-esque evil genie in a strict diesel punk tech world that delved in magics and lunacy, Sweet Tooth is a ridiculous and unimaginative psychotic who went from sideshow to big bad. The diesel punk is broken by spaceships, UFOs, and stealth car crap that just takes what the first 2 games did and misses the point entirely. A series that had a defined world and style, if little story, is bastardized into a knockoff Mortal Kombat of car shooters, not the clever and contemporary amalgamation the devs think it is. But we started, so let's finish, as despite its stylistic and world-building failures, the gameplay is mega fun, and this isn't a serious series by any stretch, so what does it really matter? I just love blowing stuff up, it's just fun, okay? So let's just blast vehicles, have a laugh, and get some plats. Besides, we get to play as Calypso and drive around in his massive dongmobile. What could be cooler than that, eh? 4 is even buggier and more frustrating than 3, and an update has made the cheats, level select and trophies a real pain in the rear bumper. But if you want to go for it, there is a lot of fun to be had, and it will only take 5 or 6 hours anyway. A difficulty of 3 out of 10. The story levels are well designed and have lots to discover, some of which will reward you with trophies. In the Neon City, follow the track through the tunnel and across the rooftops, blow away this wall and wait for a very fancy taxi to follow you across the map to a treasure trove of pickups. Road Rage asks you to take a highway detour, and this can be easy to miss. Follow the arrows until you reach the area and blow the wall away to slip across the map and collect some goodies on your way. You will need to amp it up in the bedroom by destroying this lamp using whatever method you fancy. Back to Amazonia, and you need to traverse across the map using the ramps to reach a portal that will transport you to the ancient Overlook trophy, but this one is where the trophy started bugging out on me. On the oil rig, you will have to power platform your way with a hop, skip and a jump to the portal, which will take you to the top of the rig. On your way to 5 story endings, you will run into a new concept to the series, creating your own car. And when you do this and complete the tournament, in theory, 2 trophies should pop, if you've named it after the vehicle you won the tournament with the first time round. For that, you'll earn the pay the price for identity theft, and hopefully, unlike me, you will also get the Twisted Wildcard Goldie to boot for winning with it. Deleting your save and using password select is the only real option if any of them bug out, and the final level is pretty brutal. 2 waves of enemies, then Sweet Tooth to grapple with, find your way to the entrance of the amusement arcade place, reveal one of the 2 hidden doors and slip through to the roller coaster track. Watch out for the coaster itself, it will do major damage, but it's only the first time you go round the track, after that it disappears. The track has a full health bar consumable, loads of good weapons, and offers a bit of a break from the madness of the carnival floor. The top of the big top is accessed from the small roof diagonal to it with a ramp. The final health pack is in the centre of the arena, but this is not the place you want to be low on health, as it gets crowded very quickly. Okay, so I will admit I did have a few problems with this one, but I figured it out eventually. The game seems to have been patched, making the password level select, bug out the trophies, and the sweet victory Goldie for winning the tournament with 5 cars in particular. You will have to play through the entire game 5 times, so you get to taste sweet victory. But if that's a bit daunting, Bad Driver has a great guide that utilises password cheats for infinite ammo and level selecting the maze, the penultimate level. Enter the passwords, hit new game and choose your ride. It'll load you into the maze level where you can spam your special until the enemies are obliterated. Save your game in the in-game save slot, then quit out before the final level, the Carnival. Now simply reload your game, load your save from the in-game save menu and jump into that final level to beat Baby Sweet Tooth. Save your game at the end and then rinse and repeat 4 more times for sweet, sweet victory and the taste of sweet gold. Make sure that on one run you use the cumbersome but sturdy Calypso, who does have a pretty powerful special, but even with the turbo jumps like a one-legged frog. On another, create your own car. Options are limited, but the rides you can make are pretty decent. But do this 5 times, grab the glorious Goldie of Sweet Victory, and the 4th and final Twisted Metal Platinum trophy is yours. Hey, well done you. Well done. Yes, well done. And if you've still got a Twisted Metal itch, you can go and play Twisted Metal Black, which doesn't have a platinum and it doesn't have the rewind feature, but is a hell of a lot of fun. I've been Zack. This is the Plat Deck. This was tips and tricks for Twisted Metal 1 to 4 so you can pop all 4 platinums while you binge Season 2 of the show. Be good to yourselves and each other.